In this video, we're going to see how we can generate materials and textures using Materialize, which is a generator essentially that will help you to create PBR materials or physically based render materials. And it's a really wonderful tool and it's completely free and really fast to download and easy to use. So we're going to start here from the official website. Just search for Materialize PBR in Google and click on the bounding box Materialize link. And this is the website right here. So you can find a lot of information and well, you can just navigate if you want to know more. In this case, I'm going to just go ahead and download Materialize for Windows and just jump into action. So just click there and just wait for the another page to show up, and there you go. So you're ready to go. Here you can click and this will be downloaded in your downloads folder, or you can also select another folder if you want. So just pick the folder that you want and save it. That's it. Okay. Now let's see. Again, you will find other information in the website. Let's see the file here. So first of all, we need to extract the file and then we can run the installer. So let's just wait a few seconds and there it is. So you can see here, well, actually, sorry, you don't need to install it. You just need to run it. It's really fast. It's really simple. So just double click and open up the software right away. Now, in my case, I like to keep things organized. I like to manage everything I download. And so I created a folder called software. And this is where I'm storing this like open source software that usually they just run like this. They don't need to be installed. Now, you will find Materialize also on GitHub if you want. So it's open source. You can access the file, the course, and everything, and the code. And so if you're not sure, you can just investigate a little bit more. But I've tried many times and didn't give me any issue, so I guess it's fine. But again, if you want to know more, just go there and investigate. Now, this is the software, or we can call it the app, or it's a really small application just to create a few things, but it's really important. Now, first of all, navigation. So how we can navigate inside the scene and see this object right in the middle, which is the one that we're gonna use to try the materials. So you can scroll the scroll wheel if you want to do a zoom. You can press the scroll wheel if you want to do a pan, or you can right click with your mouse and drag if you want to do orbit, if you want to like move around the object or orbiting your view around. So these are the navigation tools. Pretty easy, and let's move forward. Now you can see here we don't have any texture yet, so my object appears gray. Now if you want to quit the application, you will find down there some buttons, and also if you want to set for 3D Studio Max or Maya. And so if you're interested in 3D software, by the way, you can check in our channel different types of 3D software. So you can use open source software like Blender, or you can use something more expensive and a bit more professional like 3D Studio Max or Maya or Cinema 4D. Now you will find all these software, a lot of video guides and a lot of courses in our channel. So if you're looking for something specific, just type JBDTube and the name of what you're looking for, or just search it in the channel directly. So of course, what we create here, when you create textures for materials, well, then you need to have a 3D software where you can create the actual material. So what we're doing here is just create the textures that will be then used to create a material on a 3D software like, again, Blender or 3ds Max or Unity or Unreal Engine, whatever. So we can start off with a simple texture from the web. So we can just type texture and get any texture, or we can go on some website where we find an entire set of textures like Polyhaven, for example. So this is another useful tip, and you will find also a video guide about Polyhaven in the channel. So I don't want to like go more here and just want to continue with the Materialize. So if you're interested, just look for in the channel again, you will find a different video guides, a lot of video guides about Polyhaven. So in Polyhaven, essentially you have 3D models, you have textures and other stuff. So you can download from there some textures, or again, you probably have your own textures already, or you can just search for textures on Google and just save it. Now, when you save it in your computer, you need to open it up. I'm gonna start by opening the diffuse map. Usually, you will find more diffuse maps than other type of maps or type of textures. So I've saved mine here in Polyhaven. So this is the stuff that I've downloaded from Polyhaven. So there is like objects or textures and materials. So I'm gonna go for this material here, like wood planks gray. And you can see I have 3 textures. One is a diffuse textures, then I have displacement and roughness. So I'm gonna start with this, and there you go. Now it's applied to the object in the middle of the screen, and then I can move forward. Now I can either generate the textures here in Materialize, but if I have some, I can try using those. So for example, I have a displacement and a roughness. Displacement can be used to as a height map. So it's similar to the bump map, and it's used to create some relief on the object. So right now we are previewing the height map, but if we click on show full material, we can see the overall material. So we can work texture by texture. We can preview by hitting the preview button each texture, but we can also preview the full material if we click on show full material. So you can then work separately texture from texture. Now, when you are in the full material, you can also change some parameters like the smoothness or the metallic effect or other stuff that you can see here. Now, this is going to be just an introductory video guide. I don't want to get into deep with this, but if you join the channel, if you support us, we can perhaps create more video guides later, but you can just go there and just experiment with the parameters. Now let's move forward and let's see what else we can do here. Now you can use a map into another spot. So if you just press open, you can open up. Well, let's use, for example, here the roughness. We can try to use a roughness here on the metallic and see what's going to look like. So you always need to go to show full material and see what's going to happen. So you can try to use different maps of different purposes into other empty slots here, for example, like ambient occlusion or smoothness and so on. So essentially, they except the diffuse and the normal map, they all work with the black and white. So depending on how the black and white pixels are placed in the picture, they're gonna have a particular effect. Then you have diffuse map, which works with colors, and normal map, which is like purplish or bluish. So you see those letters there. P is for paste, C is for copy, so you can copy and paste texts from one place to the other. O is to open, and S is to save. So that's pretty much what you find there. And again, once you have like the ambient occlusion AO map, you can then adjust the ambient occlusion power. If you have the diffuse, you can adjust the RGB and the intensity. So each time you bring in another layer, you can adjust it. And you can adjust also the texture tiling. So this is where you can see if your texture has seams and is not working properly. So this is a quickly test to see if your texture is working fine, but also to enlarge or shrink the dimension, the size. And you can also test with other objects like cylinder, sphere, or cube, and or the plane, which is more like picture frame to me. So you can change the object to test the material. And you have also the possibility to change cube maps, so HDRI or environmental map, to change the illumination and the reflections on the object, just to make some more tests. Then you have these tile maps, which can be used to adjust the tiling or perhaps like do something different. So you can choose the texture size, and you can see here you can try to fix. In this case, I'm doing the opposite. I'm kind of creating a different pattern of the original texture. So you can do here fixing, or you can just like change, re-edit the texture. So if you click on set maps, this is gonna update all the textures. So we're not gonna have the texture that we use to start, but we're gonna have another one. And you can also adjust a little bit the alignment. So these are all like editing tools to fix possible issues that you find in some textures. You won't find any issues on polyhaven textures or professional texture, but sometimes if you download like other pictures, you may want to fix it, you may want to adjust it a little bit. So again, this is just introduction. Now, if you're not happy, you can clear all the texture maps, and that's gonna clear everything, and it's gonna make you start all over. Now, when you're ready to save, you can choose the format, JPEG, PNG. You can choose a folder where to save it. So I'm going to create a new folder here just to keep things organized and manage everything appropriately, and call it Materialize. And in this Materialize folder, which I need to find, so I'm going for the M, and there it is. So here I will save this file test1. Now this is going to save the project and also the textures. So you can open up or load the project. And if you go to save property map, you can see here that these have been already saved. So you can save the textures together separately, or you can save the project. And inside the project, you will find all the textures together with that project. There you go. So we have the textures that we create so far. Now you have some other tools here like post-processing to show again the material, but I think that the most important feature of Materialize is that you can generate textures. So if you click on create, this is what you can do. You can see this is a normal map. It's really difficult to generate. You can do it in Photoshop or other software, but here it's free, it's open source, it's fast, and it's easy. So you can just now get here in the parameters, experiment. You can do smooth, crisp, or you can like have more relief or less relief. You can decide if you want more details, less details. Just go there and experiment, and you can see how fast it is to generate a normal map, which is used to have more realism in your material. So I think that the most important textures are the normal map, the diffuse map, and I also use usually the roughness, which in this case could be the smoothness, and the ambient occlusion also is really important. So my suggestion is create all the different textures here, because you can see this is more accurate than the one that we used before, because the black here represent where the light is find it more difficult to reach the surface. The white is where the material is more exposed to the light. And again, do the same thing with all the others. So you can just start off with a simple diffuse map if you want, and generate everything here in Materialize. I think this is the real power of Materialize, the real paramount feature of Materialize, so that you can create material, PBR material, physical based render material from scratch just by using a single texture, a single diffuse map. You can generate everything. Now, this is what makes this Materialize software really powerful and special. And thanks, guys, for creating this. So I'm gonna save this. I can save this as another test, and I can move forward and then continue to experiment here. You can flip the normal epsilon, so you can see the normal map changing. So you have some other additional tools, but you can go now by yourself and just experiment and test then your material in a 3D software. So this will be all for this video guide. And by the way, you can just start all over if you want. You can just clear all the texture maps, restart from the beginning, And the more you will use it, the more you will become good at it. So again, this will be all for this video guide. If you enjoyed, please subscribe to the channel. And if you want to give us a little thank you, you can join the channel as a supporter. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video guide. And don't forget to see the other video guides and the other courses that you find in the channel. Thanks, and see you in the next.